Assalamu alaikum. This is my first YouTube video. Kind of nervous. So I'm filming now because it's the only time when the house will be quiet. So yeah, bear with me on this one. So oh gosh, I'm talking to myself. This is so weird. Yeah, so I'm 15. I converted to Islam when I was 12. And yeah, I guess I'm just gonna explain how I did that and what's going on. Sorry, you can see the shadow of my cat. Oh, now you can see my cat. Okay. So yeah, when I was, yeah, let's get up. Yeah, sorry. So when I was 12, this is so awkward. So when I was 12, before then, I was born and not really raised Christian. I never really went to church or anything. I think I went a total of 5 times in my life, but I was raised to always believe in God and all that. So I did, and I always did, although I never really had any experiences. I never felt like any of my prayers were ever answered. It just wasn't that close, but I guess I kind of identified as Christian. And then when I was 10, I decided, no, I'm gonna be Christian. I'm gonna start being heavily Christian. I'm gonna start going to church. I just felt like I needed God in my life. So I was like, great, let's start this. Oh my gosh, the cat is moving my chair. So I went to some churches. My mom was happy enough to take me. She's Christian. She was born and raised Christian, but she doesn't really like organized religion, so she never really, was Christian. But I didn't really connect to anything. I went to a couple of churches, but I didn't really like any of them or what they were teaching. But I still believed in God, so I was like, okay, so what am I gonna do? So I'm 10, closer to 11, and I start looking into religions, and at this point I'm just really fed up and I'm kind of annoyed, and I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to be Christian, what the heck? And so I just jumped to Buddhism, which the more I learn is actually kind of common for converts, Buddhism then Islam, and I'm like, oh, so I'm a stereotype, or not, I don't know. Cat, stop. So oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to hold this still. And so yeah, I go to Buddhism, and but Buddhists don't believe in God, but they're just open, so they're like, hey, believe whatever you want, it's fine, just follow our steps and you're cool. So I did that, and there was a Sunday school for the young kids, and I never went to that because I just really didn't feel like it. So I read a book about Buddha and all that, and it was a good book. It was very interesting, but I really didn't connect to it, and I was really depressed. I mean, I've been depressed and anxiety, and I've had a lot of things. I have Tourette's, and Ehlers those and all that. So and I've had these problems since I was 10 and younger. So I'm always had depression because I'm so yeah, I was really sad. I didn't feel I didn't have good family connections. I didn't really have a family. I was being really bullied at school. I didn't have any friends. I didn't have a religion. And I came up with so you need 3 things in my life, and I don't have any of these 3 things. I need to have at least one. I can't change my family. I can't change the fact I'm being bullied, but I can I can change my relationship with God. So I'm gonna really start focusing on this. So I researched everything. Judaism, Christianity, Sikhism, even Wicca, and then I came upon Islam, and I wasn't really like the first video I watched, because of course this is all done on YouTube, hashtag Gen Z, but the first video I watched, I felt a connection. I felt a click, but I didn't want to. I was, nah, this isn't happening. So I just stopped. Like I watched a couple of videos, but I'm like, I don't want to be Muslim. Like this isn't my religion. Like, come on. So I stop. I wait, and they completely stopped for 3 months. Like I refuse to watch any videos because I don't want to get dragged into this. And here I am. I got dragged into it. But so after 3 months, a video randomly popped up, and I'm like, dang it, here we go again. And I'm maybe 12 at this point. And so I watch it, and I get really into it. I learn everything I can. I read every single, like my middle school was awesome. They had books on every religion. Like they had a bunch of books on religion. Oh my gosh, I can't believe, what if the school librarian and me checking out like a pile of like books on Islam, and they'd be like, okay. But yeah, so I read about all that, and after a couple months of reading and learning everything I can, I kind of bring it up, gosh, the cat, I kind of bring it up in a conversation with my mom, because like we were just talking about religion, and you know, I kind of asked her, I was like, what would you do if I was Muslim? And she kind of made a joke about, oh, you have to cover your hair, and I'd be like, ha ha ha, but no, but like seriously. And she was like, oh, okay, she thought it was a phase. I mean, I'm 12, like no 12-year-old converts to Islam, right? But so yeah, she thinks it's a phase. She's like, yeah, sure, learn about it, tell me about it, let's do it. That's like, yeah. And I end up finding, wasn't exactly a masjid, it was like a temporary masjid, because my city didn't have one, and there were plans to build one. There is one now, alhamdulillah, but there wasn't then. And so there's just this like little meeting of like in somebody's house and there's like back room in somebody's house, so we go there. My mom drives up, and we know this is place because there's a bunch of like hijabis walking in, and like, you know, they're all walking into this place. Hi, cat. And so my mom's like, is this the mosque? This lady is like, yeah. Like just looking at it, I was like, what the, who are these two people? And they're just randomly showing up with no information. And you know, I showed up because I wanted to try my best to be modest to show up. So I come up, it's like somewhat short sleeve. It was actually my mom's dress, so it was like pretty oversized on me. I went down to like my knees, and then I wore like, it looked horrible, I looked like trash, but I was trying. And so, oh my gosh, the cat. So we go in and all that, and like there's a bunch of nice ladies, and they have baklava, and they got so many sweets. Oh, so many sweets. And my mom's like a huge fan of baklava, so she's like, ooh, yum. And I'm like, ooh, yum. And so we sit down, and like my mom was like, oh, my daughter's interested in Islam, like, what's up? And so, you know, I already knew a whole lot. And one of my favorite memories is like, so they're telling us a bit about like, you know, the 5 pillars of Islam and what life is like for a Muslim. And you know, then I go on to, you know, like they're trying to tell the story of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Oh, sorry, this is so making me so nervous. I don't know, I don't like talking to myself. But so, and I, you know, I finished off the story because I knew it and I loved the story, and like they were very impressed, and they were like, oh, mashallah, oh, you know the story, oh. And I'm like, yeah. My mom was like, huh? So yeah, and I kind of, that was the Sunday before Ramadan, and I count that as the day I converted, because I was basically like Muslim before that, but like I count that as the day I basically became Muslim. Like there wasn't like a huge thing for me where I was like, you know, went on ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. I was like, you know, in like this big formal setting. It was just I was just Muslim, and I just said the shahada kind of on my own, but like a lot. It was like, it was a whole thing. I never, well actually it wasn't a whole thing, it was no thing, but but yeah. So I started, I participated in that Ramadan, and I have I have iron problems. I'm anemic, and I have low blood sugar problems. So fasting to this day, still not really a possibility, but I try. I may feel dizzy, I may nearly pass out, but I try. I go until I pass out, but that's not like good, but I do because I'm not good. But yeah, yeah, and I started attending the Sunday classes for young kids and learning everything I could. And yeah, you know, it was so fun, like going to the Sunday classes, and I got to meet some really good friends. Oh, one of my favorite memories is I go to a Sunday class, and you know, the kids are like, why isn't she wearing hijab? We're supposed to wear hijab to Sunday class. And I'm like, I don't understand anything. And because I'm like, what? And so one of the favorite things is, because again, this is when the masjid was built. I'm a bad storyteller, excuse me. But yeah, this is after the masjid was built, so we're taking classes in the masjid. Gorgeous masjid, by the way. But like, it's right behind the person's house where the temporary masjid was. So like, the girl who lives there, like, runs back. This is bad storytelling. Gets a hijab, and like they dressed me up like a Barbie doll, and it was hilarious because they're all sitting there like, no, let me do it, no, let me do it. And I was just like, what? What's going on? Excuse me. But yeah, that was, yeah, one of my favorite memories, because it was like with all the girls. And yeah, some of them are like my best friends like I've ever had. And yeah, and I remember it was Eid, was the first Eid, and we went, and it was this huge party kind of thing. I was still vegetarian at that point, but I had so many good foods, and they had a huge bouncy house. Oh my gosh. And yeah, and that's when I met my best friend now, Sumaya. I won't give any more personal detail out, but yeah, she came up, and I thought they were the mean girls, and then I went over to her house, and it was one of my favorite memories is when we were invited over to her family's house, and I was like, oh, you're the mean girl? And I got really scared. She's actually the nicest person I've ever met, so shows me what I know. But the cat's trying to get out. 1 minute.
Few moments later.
So yeah, I Eid one time and they were so nice. The community was so nice. I've heard there's a lot of problems with like Muslims being really mean to converts, but I never experienced that once. Maybe like online in some YouTube comments or on Reddit, but I mean Reddit's like Reddit, so you can't expect much from there. But yeah, no, I've never experienced, like, they gave me prayer mats, hijabs, books, so many books. Oh my. But yeah, it was so great, and it was so fun learning everything. And now I'm 15, almost 16. Yeah. And yeah, so I've almost been Muslim for 4 years. Was it June, or yeah, I think it was June, or no, not July, June 5th. I don't even remember anymore. I have it written down somewhere. And so when I like put on hijab and all that, and so yeah, I've come really far. It's just like so poorly put together. I might have to refilm this, but yeah. And again, it's been really hard to be a young teenager, even a child. I wasn't even a teenager yet, and become Muslim, and you know, have to navigate all of that, because I've never met anyone else my age and like where I am. And like my family is, I've not one family member who's Muslim yet, but inshallah, you know, always inshallah. But yeah, even my family, they don't really like Islam. It's a whole thing. I mean, I've been wanting to put on hijab since I was like 12, but I had to wait till I was 15, because there was a lot of back and forth with me and my mom. We were like, please, and she was like, no, and I'm like, please, and she was like, no, and then she was like, yeah, and then I was like, yay. And now here. But yeah, it's hard a lot of times to, especially because all my friends, they're obviously born Muslims, and it's hard to like see like a lot of like, oh, that family dynamic of praying together, and you know, like reading Quran together, fasting together, and it's like, oh, I wish I could have that. But like, you know, inshallah, one day, like if not with my parents, like, you know, at least I have it with my kids when I'm married and all that. So I just look forward, and I look forward to the future and all of that. And yeah, you know, right now I just keep trying to grow my iman and keep trying working on praying 5 times a day. I mean, I didn't even took me 3 years to learn how to pray. It's because nobody teaches you this stuff. Like, there's no YouTube video. Like, there's some YouTube videos on how to pray, but they're extremely confusing. Like, there needs to be some kind of system set up. Like, I've heard some masjids have like convert classes, which is like nice, but like mine didn't, that's for sure. And it took me 3 years to learn how to pray, but alhamdulillah, I know how to pray now. Yeah, and I, you know, I've memorized okay amount of Quran, like no more than any other teenage girl my age, Muslim girl my age, but yeah, you know, I keep learning and I keep reading, and I keep immersing myself in the community. I've made actually a couple of Muslim like convert friends now. Of course, they're all older than me, but yeah, I've made a couple, and that's really nice to like know other converts who are like in my, like, they don't have family to talk about things with. But yeah, this is kind of like, I guess, an intro to my channel. Kind of just like introducing my story, and like, yeah, I'm gonna be posting a lot more stuff, probably, inshallah, you know, that's how it is. If that is. But yeah, because I got a lot to say. And I guess, you know, especially for other kids, like other teenagers who may be thinking of converting to Islam, already have converted, even like adults who have converted when they were young. Like, it's just somebody, like, if anyone needs anyone to relate to, I guess I'm here. Right? That's cringy, I guess. Like, yeah. But yeah, it's really hard to be a convert in general to any religion, especially Islam. But like, if you are, good job, number 1, and you're so strong, number 2, and number 3, keep it up. Like, geez, like, just, you're doing fantastic. Like, don't stop. Like, clearly you're a smart individual, and you clearly know what you're doing and all that jazz. But yeah, just, I'll be posting more. Subscribe if you wanna, don't if you don't wanna, because I don't know if you want to or not. You don't have to. Just watch, like, don't even have to watch my videos if you don't like me. I think I'm gonna go now. But yeah, I'll probably be recording some more videos today. So if you see me in the same clothes, no, I'm not. I mean, I'm lazy, but I'm not that lazy. I'm just filming in one run. So yeah.